The Sheriff That Changed by Mia Hutchison, Grade 5. The moon was aglow. Sheriff had just gotten back to Wealthstown. Thus, we all know, when it comes to being the sheriff, there is nothing he lacks. He wished his horse a good night as he led her to her stall, told her that the bugs wouldn't bite and that there was nothing to fear at all. He put on his nightcap, he turned out the light when his doorbell rang, which gave him a fright. Though usually brave, Sheriff was scared. He did not like the dark. Would he really dare? He walked across the room and held out his hand. Then he ripped off the Band-Aid and he went sling. He sighed with relief. Just 2 children at the door, a small girl, a small boy, then looked with grief when he saw what they wore. They had no shoes, they had no socks. They did have noses dripping with ooze and dirt in their locks. They begged that Sheriff bought their cookies. Oh, they did. But Sheriff just ran and hid. I will not buy your cookies, he rebelled, looking at the cookie box in which they held. We worked hard on those cookies, the girl seemed to pray. Oh, we spent all day. The children sobbed and they walked away sad. But Sheriff, oh no, he felt nothing but mad. Scammers, he said to himself. He thought of their town, their money, their wealth. They simply couldn't be that poor. The next day was worse, and let's just say, Sheriff burst. The girl and the boy talked to retired old Roy and asked that he buy their cookies. Roy smiled with glee, holding a cookie, but no chomp came. Don't you see? They're gross. Sheriff held up Roy's cookie and pouted, but Roy replied, Sir, I surely doubt it. But Sheriff had his convincing ways. Oh yes, in a few minutes, the town was against those kids. The children slumped away sadly. That night, Sheriff had a thought. I should prove that the cookies are rotten. Why not? So he woke up his horse. Oh, that was a ball. But he eventually made it to the children's small and dark house just after nightfall. He peeked through their window, saw their mother holding a pan. Yet, nothing was cooking. He saw the children, what long faces they had, and somehow, Sheriff felt sad. What have I done? Sheriff said with a sigh. Why didn't I buy their cookies? Why? No supper tonight, their mother said sadly. They must give you a job, the boy shouted madly. Sheriff's face reddened. This was all his fault. He rode away home, thinking very hard. The next day, the children were at Sheriff's doorstep with cookies again. Only this time, he grinned. Hold right there. Sheriff ran excitedly somewhere. The children looked at each other with a curious stare. When Sheriff came back, he held out a sack, and the children stepped back. Open, Sheriff rushed. So the children did, so excited they flushed. Toys, food, everything and all. The children looked at the Sheriff in awe. You better be off, the children asked why. 'Cause your mother's job starts at 8, so fly. Thank you, and they said their goodbye.